Los Angeles has had its fair share of losses in recent years, of historic locations. And, dearly departed tours, scandalous locations too. Dearly departed tours is that was what we did actually, the deaths and the scandals around Los Angeles. And we lost some really historically significant locations. Most recently, the fires in the Pacific Palisades destroyed a lot of location, a lot of beautiful homes and historic places. Recently, the original Pantry restaurant closed down. The Pacific Dining Car caught on fire. Uh, Other buildings are in danger. The Hollywood Center Motel that I recently featured, the Ambassador Hotel, a significant part of American history happened there. The Warner Ranch, where the Bewitched House was, and the Friends Fountain, and all those wonderful sets. So we lost a lot of historic places, but one of the places that I'm going to talk about today is not, well, it's historic, but it's more like a pop culture location. So when people are saying, our history is being destroyed, well, it's a bit silly, but it's true. It is being destroyed. And this is the George Michael restroom in Beverly Hills. And it is the city of Beverly Hills, so it isn't technically Los Angeles, though it's Los Angeles County. My friend Lisa from the Facebook page and the Instagram page, Hollywood Unwrapped, was able to go to Beverly Hills and take some video footage of this tragic location being destroyed. Yeah, it's sad. That was my restroom break during the tour since 2004 until we closed. Every tour, we stopped at that location because it was a fun location to stop. And yeah, so it's sad. It's sad that it's gone.
Hollywood's tabloid fame has made LA one of the top tourist destinations in the world. But on your next vacation, don't bother with those boring handprints and cement. Instead, hitch a ride aboard an off-the-beaten-path tour that is truly to die for. Okay, so we're here with Scott Michaels, the brains behind Dearly Departed. And what are we going to see today?
We're going to see over 100 locations where famous scandals happen, suicides, murders.
All right, can we go?
Yeah, sure.
Can we hit
Let's
the road?
get out of here.
And it was in this Beverly Hills park where singer George Michael's career went down the toilet after propositioning an undercover cop.
And everyone that comes on the Dearly Departed tour gets a complimentary copy of George's arrest report.
Oh, nice. So you don't walk away empty-handed.
No, well, he didn't.
The Will Rogers Memorial Park, as opposed to the Will Rogers State Park, which is towards the ocean, where the fires hit not that long ago. But the Will Rogers Memorial Park, this used to be the front lawn of the Beverly Hills Hotel, back before Sunset Boulevard made it out this far. When Sunset Boulevard, it was all Beverly Hills was like orange groves and lima bean fields. And when Sunset Boulevard came through, it separated this land from the Beverly Hills Hotel. It was their front lawn. If you stand where the fountain is and look straight across Sunset Boulevard, you'll see the front door of the hotel. That's the way it was set up. When Sunset Boulevard separated that land from the hotel gave that land to the city under the stipulation that it remain a public park, and there it is. And they named it after Will Rogers, who was the first honorary mayor of Beverly Hills. Now, Will Rogers very famously had a motto. His motto was,
"Never met a man I didn't like."
I never met a man I didn't like. It's ironic, isn't it? And it's very sad that the restroom's being torn down. Now, Lisa from Hollywood Unwrapped, the Instagram page and the Facebook page, went over there today and took pictures of it for me and video for me because I can't make it over there right now. I took video of the park before and I still have it. Here you are, the George Michael restroom. Rest in peace. I guess the best thing to do is to read the actual arrest report, and I'll illustrate it the best I can with photographs of the actual location. On Tuesday, April 7th, 1998, at 2:50 p.m., Officer Shan Davis, number 353, and I, Officer Marcello Rodriguez, were working plainclothes crime suppression in the area of Will Rogers Park, located at Cannon Drive at Lomitas Avenue. Due to the increasing number of complaints of lewd acts in a public place, activity in the men's restroom on the west side of the park, we checked for any subjects loitering in the area. The Will Rogers Park is a public park with public restrooms.
The footage I've shown you up to this point is from late 2024. Currently, this is March 2025, and I'll be interspersing clips of the demolition of the restroom as I explain what exactly happened. I'll just go ahead and read the arrest report. But the clips from 2024 and 2025 will be labeled, but they'll be mixed around in here. According to the officer, Marcelo Rodriguez, I exited my vehicle and began to walk around the park. As I made my way to the men's restroom, I noticed several children, boys and girls, playing just north of the bathroom building. I also observed two different females pushing baby strollers approximately 100 feet east of the entrance to the men's room, and what appeared to be a father and a small son sitting in the grass directly adjacent to the men's restroom front door. Next, I saw a male subject exit his black Mercedes, which was parked on the west side of Cannon Drive between Sunset and Lomitas. The subject ran eastbound across the street and proceeded to the men's restroom. The subject was a male, white, in his 30s, wearing a black King's cap, a blue-green t-shirt, and blue Adidas sweatpants with white stripes. I was wearing a gray t-shirt and blue jeans. From my vantage point, I could see that the subject walked into the men's restroom. The men's restroom at Will Rogers Park is a small facility with one stand-up urinal, one small toilet, and one sink. There's only one door to the facility, and the stall has a swinging door attached to a dividing barrier. As I walked into the restroom, I noticed the male subject, later identified as George Michaels, misspelled, standing at the urinal. Michaels, I'm just going to say Michael from now on. Michael turned around and glanced in my direction as I proceeded to enter the stall. Michael and I were the only ones in the restroom. I walked into the stall and stood by the toilet with the stall door remaining open. I began to simulate that I was urinating. I could not see Michael because of the barrier wall, but I could hear that he was not urinating. Michael stepped away from the urinal and walked over to the south wall by the front door of the restroom. He leaned his head back against the wall and looked into the stall toward my direction. Immediately, I noticed that Michael was exposing his toward my direction. Michael began with his right hand. At this time, he was standing approximately 8 to 10 feet away from me. Michael repeatedly glanced over his shoulder to look outside the entrance door, and as he continued to, Michael, with his left hand, pulled his sweatpants down to his upper thigh, revealing his buttocks. His right buttock had some sort of circular 2-inch Band-Aid type patch attached to it. He was not wearing any sort of underwear. Michael continued to, as I walked past him, almost brushing shoulders together. I walked out of the restroom and contacted Officer Davis and advised him that a violation had occurred. Michael and I never engaged in any conversation during this incident. Officer Davis and I contacted Michael as he exited the restroom. We identified ourselves as Beverly Hills police officers. Officer Davis explained to him the nature of his detention and violation. Michael told Officer Davis, "This is entrapment." Michael told Officer Davis that he didn't have any sort of identification with him. We placed Michael under arrest, and Officer Davis transported Michael along with Sergeant Lee to the Beverly Hills Police Department jail.
Now, a lot of people think that the police in Beverly Hills have a lot more important things to do, and probably true, but Beverly Hills is one of the richest neighborhoods in America. It's only 6 square miles and owned by 35,000 people. The average price for a home there is about $2.8 million. And they have their own police department and their own fire department. And they have the fastest response of a police department, I think, almost everywhere in the country. So when the neighbors complain about something, they are on it. And that's why they concentrate on it. And it's also, George Michael said, Americans don't have any idea how their taxpayer dollars are being spent. Well, the city of Beverly Hills pays those tax dollars. It's a city, not federal. And they knew exactly what they were spending their money on for safety and quality of life. So if somebody complains about something in the city of Beverly Hills, the police are definitely going to respond to that. And there were incidents at this park recently before this. So anyway, after this happened, the media went crazy. George Michael, nobody knew he was gay yet, so it was a weird way for him to come out. And so he did the talk show circuit in Beverly Hills, and he actually claimed he was entrapped. He said that the police officer lured him by taking his own out, which didn't happen. Well, I wasn't there, but I would imagine, since there were other officers at the scene, that actually didn't happen. But the media did cover it incessantly, and he became indignant about it. So George Michael, was sort of making fun of the whole incident and accusing the cop of entrapment. I think ultimately, don't get your junk out in a public restroom in Beverly Hills, because George Michael was not a stranger to doing this. He did it a lot. In fact, he did it 2 more times. Actually, he was arrested in Hampstead Heath, which is near his home in London, emerging from the bushes, being followed quickly by another man. And in 2008, he was arrested in London as well at a restroom. This time he had illegal substances on him. So he wasn't a stranger to this sort of thing. But he started mocking that police officer publicly. And the police officer himself started getting a lot of unwanted tabloid attention. And he could no longer do his job properly. So he sued George Michael for more emotional distress, but also because his job has been affected. And so he sued George Michael for $10 million. And George Michael decided to make a music video about the whole thing, mocking the whole thing, for a song called Outside. So in the year 2000, the judge actually threw that lawsuit out, saying that he's not entitled to that compensation since it was part of his job, I guess. And that's, part of being a public official or as a servant of the public. That leads him, I guess, a reasonable amount of opinions could be thrown his way. And, but anyway, Officer Rodriguez is retired. I believe he's a private detective somewhere. And George Michael died on Christmas Day of 2016 of cardiomyopathy, an enlarged heart and liver disease. And he was 53 years old. So the city of Beverly Hills is tearing down the restroom and replacing it with a newer one. They did that a couple of years ago on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and Cannon, where Winifred Chapman, who discovered the bodies at the Tate crime scene on August 9th of 1969, she took the bus to Cielo Drive and got off at that very corner where she was picked up by someone. And that bus station, bus stop, actually was destroyed a couple of years ago and replaced with a brand spanking new one as well. So the city is investing the money to make it a nicer place. And as far as I know, the park isn't on any more internet sites as a place for people to hook up. And life goes on. So rest in peace, George Michael Memorial Park in Beverly Hills. And rest in peace, George Michael. And best of luck to you, Officer Rodriguez, wherever you are. So thanks again to Lisa from Hollywood Unwrapped. Follow the page if you want to know what's going around Los Angeles and Hollywood, events and news around the area. And also William Harder for the footage of the interior of the Beverly Hills restroom.
Hang out with me for a few more minutes. I'll take you on a walk around of the Will Rogers Memorial Park. Again, 2024, before the restroom destruction, I did this walk around. You'll see what a nice, serene little park this is, right on Sunset Boulevard across from the Beverly Hills Hotel.
And thank you all very much for your time and for your attention. And until next time.
You heard me.